So I'm here to talk with you today a little bit about what a black box is inside a vehicle, and specifically inside of a truck tractor, and the importance of the data that's captured on it. So a black box, it's kind of an abbreviated name and nickname for what's known as an electronic data recorder. And in late model, let's say the last 10 years or so, if not more, all truck tractors are going to have a black box on them. And that black box, what it does, it captures very important data. A crash happens and the black box data is downloaded. Some of the data that will be revealed is the speed of the tractor truck in, let's say, the 10, 15 seconds before the crash. They can go even beyond that. For instance, if we're reading some black box data and we see what the speed is 10 seconds before the crash, and it'll show it at every second before, 10, 9, 8, 7, all the way up to 0, the impact time. How fast was the tractor truck going? Highway speeds, 70 miles an hour. Was it going faster than that? The black box data will tell us whether or not the truck driver was on the gas pedal, whether he or she was accelerating at the time. Did the truck driver speed up from 70 miles an hour within the 10 seconds leading up to the crash? And also the black box data will tell us whether the brake was engaged, and the black box data will tell us when a brake is engaged. These are all essential factors, super important factors in determining and understanding the story of the crash and why it happens. It also informs what we do next in the discovery process during litigation. It will indicate to us and reveal the importance of additional data like electronic driving logs. We start looking at those and we see whether or not the driver has taken the appropriate breaks as required by the rules. It will also indicate whether the driver has been driving longer than he is permitted to do so under the rules and regulations. So black box data is essential for so many different reasons. There are times when trucking companies are resistant to allowing us to do an inspection to get the black box data, or they're resistant to producing the black box data. For instance, we have a case just signed up recently where a wheel and tire came off the tractor trailer and goes across the freeway, across the median, and hits the vehicle our clients are in. As soon as we were retained on the case, we set out what are called preservation of evidence letters, which are letters sent to the trucking company and the insurance company, letting them know what happened, although they already know it, and then also listing specifically what it is that we're asking them to preserve in terms of evidence, essentially all relevant evidence to the crash and how it happened. And necessarily that's going to include any kind of data from any kind of data recording devices, including the black box. So there are times that trucking companies and insurance companies are reluctant to allow us to inspect and do the data download, or they're reluctant to provide that information to us. In the case we were recently retained on, the insurance company responded and said, well, we don't allow inspections of our vehicles. That's not an acceptable answer. I gave the adjuster a second chance to produce the vehicle for inspection. I got the same answer. So I immediately drafted up a lawsuit, and we filed a lawsuit against the trucking company and the truck driver. And in that lawsuit, we listed all our claims, but also had an additional specific paragraph pointing out to them in very clear terms of their obligation to preserve all relevant evidence in this case, and that we would seek the full force and effect of the law and all penalties they were entitled to if that trucking company failed to preserve relevant evidence, including the black box data. This is why it is so important to have an experienced truck crash lawyer on your side. If you'd like to learn more about the importance of preserving evidence after a truck crash case, and specifically what evidence it needs to be preserved, please don't hesitate to give us a call at the Callahan Law Firm, or contact us through our website at www.thecallahanlawfirm.com.